You've got to make Google your best friend. Not only is it going to be super important in the Salesforce world, but just in life, this skill is super valuable to have. Knowing how to cut the fluff out, get right to the result you're looking for, search more efficiently, knowing the links to click on and the ones to trust. All that stuff is going to be part of your day-to-day routine in Salesforce. And the reason for that is two things. One, Salesforce is continuously updating what they are putting out. So they're always innovating as a company. And so you are going to be Googling stuff, even if you have a lot of knowledge, because you got to keep up with these updates. And then number two is when you first start, and even for myself, 5 years in, there's plenty of use cases that I have not come across, I have not had to solve before. And so when I have those experiences, I got to jump onto Google, I got to check for best practices, I got to see maybe how somebody else approached it. And all that comes in clutch when I know how to Google way better than the other guy. I can get to those results a lot quicker, right? So let's review 4 steps real quick with you, how you can do that. Real quick, before I jump in, this is my newsletter that I have. I send it out every single Saturday. It's always 5 minutes or less to read, and it's all about how you can develop your Salesforce career. It's always free, so feel free to subscribe. I think we have 3,800 subscribers at the time of this recording, which is sweet. So tip number 1 on this newsletter for the week is cutting the fluff. So a lot of the times you guys do this, myself included. When I first started, I would type in how do I, when does, what is the, where to find. They're all filler words that you don't need to use. What you're really trying to do is figure out the keywords of your question and type those out in the search bar. And that's going to eliminate a lot of the ads. It's going to eliminate a lot of the links that don't bring you anywhere. It cuts right to the chase of what you're looking for and is going to really, really narrow down those results for you. At the end of it, I always use SFDC when I search, which stands for Salesforce.com. It's worked for me for the last 5 years really well, so I would suggest the same thing. And here is a screenshot of something that I searched. So instead of typing in all those fillers, all I did here is yesterday's date formula and then Salesforce.com. Instead of having to scout around and figure out what to do, my result actually just popped up. I didn't even have to click a link. That's how efficient this was. So I typed this in, boom, here's the result. Awesome. That's exactly what I was looking for. This is the formula I can use. Good, I'm good to go. So it might not seem like a big deal, but this stuff adds up through your workday. And trust me, I've been down that road where it's like I spend a lot of time, hours, literally clicking through links, reading a bunch of nonsense just to figure out it's not even what I wanted. So this really has become an awesome skill to figure out how to cut that stuff out and search by keyword. Step number 2, or tip number 2 here is you're going to want to figure out how to find similar sites. Okay. So what I mean by that is you'll start to catch on in the long run if you didn't know this trick, because you'll start seeing like, hey, when I click on these links, these ones are usually trustworthy, or, you know, this one's pretty similar to this one over here. So you catch on naturally, but an easier way to speed this up is to just know how to search for those. And what you can do is you can open Google. Let's just look at these 2 steps right here. Open Google and then search the related : website name. So if I knew that there was helpful stuff on Salesforce Help, I can do related : Salesforce Help, right? And then find something there. In the example down here, I used Stack Exchange. There's usually a lot of great stuff on Stack Exchange, so I can just search this key term right here, related.stackexchange.com, and that's going to show me all the related sites that are similar to Stack Exchange, showing me, you know, other potential areas of where I could find answers, just like I'm finding answers on Stack Exchange. So a really nice one to kind of cut through years and years of trying to figure this out the hard way and manual way is to just know that trick. Step number 3, or tip number 3, there is something out there called the Google Dork cheat sheet that I found one time, or somebody linked it on a LinkedIn post that I put out there one time. But here's the thing. The thing is there's a ton of different ways that you can search on Google, and a lot of us just do it by keyword like I've showed you. Maybe you didn't even know that trick, that you could do a related one. And so there's these few links here that you can take a look at, and I'll also post these in here. But if we click into one, right, here's what I mean. You can see this stuff here. There's all in text, in URL. It tells you like how to search for those things and what it's going to pull up for you. So these are really nice. little tricks to know in case you are stuck on a problem that you're not finding results for. So won't go super in depth on that one, but it's a nice one to have. This one over here is pretty dang similar, has some stuff we're reviewing today, just a little more involved of 20 different cheat sheets that you can use when you're Googling for something. So those are both really, really nice. And then number 4, this one is the one I promised to you. So there is somebody out there named Dan Appleman, and he's awesome. He's a Salesforce MVP. He actually developed this thing. And it's actually your own version of literally just a Salesforce Google. So what you do is you go to searchtheforce.com, which if we do that over here so you can kind of see it live, searchtheforce.com, and we pull this up, you now have this own search engine, and it's enhanced by Google, so meaning it's going to be using, I believe, the search engine from Google, but it narrows all your stuff down to Salesforce related items. So if we look for that same thing, yesterday's formula, I can just search it that way, and instead of putting in salesforce.com at the end here, you'll notice that these are all Salesforce links popping up. Developer Salesforce, Stack Exchange we talked about, Salesforce, right? So I didn't even have to type in Salesforce at the end here. It actually just went and found it for me because this is specifically for Salesforce. So this is a huge, huge shout out to Dan Appleman and all the work he put into this. And this is a really nice place, especially if you're a beginner, to not have to sort through so much extra stuff that isn't Salesforce related. You can just jump into it right here. So those are my 4 tips for you today. At the end of this, I always like to kind of plug this. I do have a course of my that I've launched this year in 2022. We're up to, I think, 85 to 87 students so far inside. We have our own private community where we talk about how you can learn Salesforce, develop the skills that you need, position yourself online as an expert, and get hired. So if you are interested in that, you can always sign up at my website. It's just my name, jordanqnelson.me/learn. So I'll plug that below for you as well, or it should be in the description, I think, for this video. So if that is interesting to you, feel free to join me over there. If not, definitely sign up for my newsletter here. It's 100% free, like I said, always will be. It's just a place you can go and get all this information on how to develop your career. All right, thanks.